Good morning. Happy Friday, you guys. Oh my goodness. I want to show you this picture. I had it up and every time I shut the door, it flies off. But I found this in my collection of photos, and that's my little girl that passed away not too long ago. Still remembering her, and my little baby, still missing her. But her sister, you can see her sister down there. She's actually sitting in her chair. She's been kind of moving around a little bit, so just wanted to share that with you. So happy Friday, you guys. I'm gonna have some coffee. I hope that you're excited and ready for your weekend. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna be doing. I'm kind of excited about this because I just discovered something yesterday. But before I get into my stories, if you're new here, please hit like and subscribe. And like I was saying yesterday, it really means a lot to me when you guys hit like or you leave a comment for me, because you want your life to have meaning. You want to know that the content that you put out means something to other people. And when no one responds to anything or doesn't even hit like, it's kind of like you're just broadcasting to nothing. Even though you see views, you're not going to connect with that the way that you connect with comments. So I want to thank you guys who are listening every day. And I want to thank you because after my appeal yesterday, you guys actually shared comments, and it did do exactly what I said it would do, which was it gave me more motivation to keep doing this. So my initial goal was to just do it Monday through Friday and just kind of see how it goes. I'm thinking that I'm going to continue to do this because just from the comments that I got yesterday, it made a difference to you guys that made comments, and that means something to me. And so tell me what your thoughts are. Do you want me to keep doing this daily and just doing a quick little check-in? Some days will be longer than other days, but I'm always going to share whatever's going on in my life and just kind of chat with you guys. And this is a more casual kind of real talk episode, or series, I should say. These are, this can be a series where we just kind of real talk, and it's an opportunity for me to kind of share with you the real stuff that I think about, because, when I'm out there projecting and teaching, I'm not talking about all that personal stuff. I'm sharing stories with you, but then I'm sharing with you the evolution or the thought process and the teaching and how it helped and stuff. But this is more like the daily stuff that we go through, because I'm human and I want to share that humanity with you. I think we connect more with people when we can, show our vulnerabilities. And I think it really truly does help to share your vulnerabilities, because there's people out there, like you guys commented the other day, where you guys are dealing with certain things, and sometimes something I say might help you. And that is the whole point of it, right? So, yeah, so just make sure that you like and subscribe to the page, and make sure that you leave me a comment. I love those so much, and I'm so grateful for that. So, a couple things. I promised in the Bliss Friday love letter that I would share with you guys kind of a scary, freaky story of what happened to me yesterday. And I'm also going to share with you first what I was talking about a minute ago, of what my focus is going to be today. I've always wanted Fridays to kind of be my day, where originally in my practice, it was Monday through Thursday, and I had Friday off, and that's where I was going to do a lot of admin stuff, and whatever things needed attention that were on the back end, I could focus on that, but also just to have Friday off, just to have that day where I'm not in the public eye or what have you. But I since did away with that because I wanted to be available, and because my schedule is pretty open to doing whatever I want on a daily basis. So I didn't feel like I needed to cut that day out. But I still have that feeling like, oh, Fridays are the day where I can just kind of do other things. And so one of the things that I need to focus on is I need to reread the book I wrote that I'm having published, because I wrote it a couple years ago. It's a novella. It's like 60,000 words. And I'm writing the second version of it, but I paused in between doing that. And partly because I was feeling a little pessimistic, because I have written so many books, and then I would try so hard to publish, and then they didn't happen. And I just, at a certain point, I got frustrated. I was like, why am I continuing to put all this effort and work into writing these books when they're just going to sit and not be read, And so I kind of went through that after, when I had received rejection notices and all this stuff. And I really I didn't really give up. I just stopped giving attention to it because there were other things, to focus on. And I needed a break from the constant disappointment of getting rejections, if I got any response at all from all the work I put into, this book. And mind you, I don't know how many books that I've written now. I think it's definitely over 18, and it's a lot of work to finish, edit, complete each one, and then to, have them kind of not go anywhere. I had 2 that were actually signed by agents, and then they couldn't figure out how to sell them. And so those kind of went away and went back into the file, so speed it up, long story short, here we are. I tried again after many, many years of just not trying. And then I finally got a nibble. I got a publishing deal. And it's going very slow, which most books, from the time that you sign it, can take about 18 months before you get it through the process. That's just kind of industry knowledge for you. So most of the time I'm just sitting around waiting. We approved the cover, and now I'm just sitting around waiting for them to edit and send me the edit notes. But in the meantime, it kind of stimulated in me wanting to go back and rewrite write the second novel to the first one. The first one is called 1377 Rickaby Lane. Okay, and it's a haunted fiction thriller, and it has a lot to do with healing too, because there's something traumatic that happens to the main character in the beginning, and she's processing that, and it's written from her first person, so you're feeling what she's feeling and what she's going through. And I felt it was like the best book I had ever written, fiction. It was just every thread, everything worked. The characters are lovable, so it makes you want to read it. I love anything that takes place in a Victorian, and this one does. I mean, any haunted Victorian books, I'm into it. So it has all these really cool stories, but the characters are so loving and so amazing and they're all interesting. They have such interesting, different personalities. And so I started writing right after I wrote the first one. I started writing the next one, and then I just kind of fizzled out. Like, I'm not going to put any more effort into this until I know that this is going to go somewhere. Obviously got disappointed at a certain point and stopped. But I had it written down. I think it's in, do I have it here? Yeah, I had written it in this. I'll show you. Because I like handwriting things sometimes too. This book is kind of messed up, but it's this journal, and I just kind of started the beginnings. I wrote a couple of chapters, hand wrote them in here, and then I just stopped and I just held on to that. And recently I went back and started typing up the first chapters of it, and of course fleshing it out more. And what I'm realizing now is I really need to go back to the first one because there's so many details. I was wise enough in the beginning to do a character list and type out all the names, who they are, what they do, who they are in relation to her, where they work, what their brief little storyline is, so that I could always reference and go back to that. But what I didn't do is put in all the details about the decorations inside the house, because I really itemize that, so that when she's going through the house for the first time, she's explaining to you how beautiful it is and what she's seen, and it's an antique. So, she's giving you details about the wallpaper and what it looks like, and all the luxurious drapes and what colors they are and what they're made of, so that you can even just kind of feel it. So those things I have to go back and refresh, so that I can go into the next book with all of that really fresh in my mind, and just, it's a continuation. So what I found out how to do yesterday, I knew the computer would do this, but I never really tried it. I think it happened accidentally once, and I had no idea how I did that. So I read a lot of books, and I have glaucoma and terrible vision, so my eyes get really fatigued. And then all day long, I'm on the computer doing certificates and other things. And so I'm like, okay, part of me just, I know I need to reread this, but part of me just does not want to sit there and print it or go on the computer and then just be thumbing through reading it all. I don't want to do that right now. So what I did was I'm like, let me go back and see if I can put it on audio, and it just reads it to me. And how cool will that be to have the story be read to me, my own story? It's kind of like an audiobook, right? But through your computer, where your computer is reading to you off your manuscript. And it's also a great way to find the flaws. I mean, I'm going to have to wait now for them to come to me with it, but I'm going to go through it again, and I'm going to, wherever those flaws are, because when a AI is reading something to you, it's going to read to you the flaw, the way it sounds, and you automatically go, oh, something's wrong with that. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to take my zero gravity chair out that I have in here, and I'm going to just lay it out, and I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to listen to my story. And once I get through that entire story, then I can really get into writing the new one, which the new one is called Purdy House, because the house that she's in is in Gig Harbor, and was originally owned by the Purdys. And this is loosely based on actual history from Gig Harbor, Washington, because Purdy was one of the Purdy family was one of the original establishers of Gig Harbor. So if I'm remembering that correctly. And so what I have her do is, I looked into the history of when was the first home established, and then that house is that house, right? And then everything else is from actually another bed and breakfast, an old Victorian that we would go visit and stay at in Ashland, Oregon. It's called the McCall House. And I took the entirety of the floor plan and everything from the McCall House and used that because I was in there many times and got to feel what that house feels like, and the setup and the staircases. And that's why I can explain it so vividly in detail, because I've literally been in that house. And so what I did is I just changed the outside look and where it is and all the other details. But the house itself is based on the McCall House in Ashland, Oregon, which looks very different on the outside than the house I describe in the book. So anyway, I'm going to be doing that today, and I'm kind of excited to hear my story. So, and I'll probably be taking little notes, to remember things. Now let's get to the story, because I don't want to be on here too long. I don't want every video to be like 30 minutes or 40 minutes long, because I want you guys to be able to get through these daily love notes to you and just share some stuff. So yesterday I was out walking my dog, and I always, because I had this weird experience one time, after this experience, I started carrying an alarm and a, what do you call that? A pepper spray around my neck, because I did learn that from a criminal, actually. It was on YouTube where he said, having pepper spray in your pocket isn't going to stop any criminal at all. If they see it around your arm, or they see it around your neck, or they see it outward, they're going to bypass you and go to somebody else. So once I learned that, I just started hanging it. So I have an alarm that's like a, what do you call those? Like a grenade. And if you just pull on it, the pin stays in, and the alarm doesn't go off until you shut the pin. So it's on my necklace, where if something weird's going on, I can pull it to kind of get them to run. That's the first line of defense. And if that doesn't work, then I pick up the spray and so I carry that with me, because I had this weird experience where this guy was kind of following me, and I knew he was going to try and jump me. And I had my dogs who were putting me in a vulnerable position, because they wouldn't move when I really wanted to just go somewhere. I couldn't, because I was trapped with the dogs, right? Because they were doing their own thing. And he was acting like he was on crank or something. He was acting very weird. And every time I stopped, he would stop and then turn around, hands in his pocket, hoodie. It was really, really kind of scary and obvious. And And then in my brain, I've trained myself because I've had some bad experiences when I was younger, that I've learned to be very aware of my surroundings. And, I realize that people are out there to do bad things. I mean, I've been a victim of, a house robbery and peeping Toms and dangerous situations. And so I always look around, and I knew this guy, he's trying to get me into the most vulnerable situation where there's nobody around, and he's going to try and jump me or something. And so what I did was I stopped for a minute, because he, and I looked, and sure enough, he was acting weird. So my next move was, okay, where do I go next? Because I need to go where I can't be alone and where I'm not going to be vulnerable, so I don't want to tell you all on that subject, because I'm telling you about another weird one. But basically what I ended up doing was I had to pass by this apartment, and thankfully there were people out on the patio. And so I moved up a little, and he moved up a little, and I stopped, and he stopped. And then I just started talking to these people. And then there was actually kids on the patio upstairs, so I started talking to them too. And I made sure by doing that to let this person know other people are here and they're going to see you, so you best move on. And I didn't have my pepper spray or anything at that time. And my options at that point were to keep moving down the street, which was a bunch of businesses, and it was on the weekend, so there were no people around. That wasn't good, because anything could happen to me there with no one at arm's length to get to me quick enough. And then the other option was to make a left turn back into the apartments, but it was a long pebble fenced walkway where it would just be me and the other person. And that was dangerous too. So I took the option of walking where the people were. And I'm really good now at diverting and getting away from people where they can't see me. So when he saw me go that way, he went the other way, thinking he's going to go around and try and capture me on the other side. And he did. He went around, but what I did was I kind of hid myself, and I had my girls, but I maneuvered and I ducked down where I could see him and he couldn't see me. And I maneuvered myself out of there. And he turned around and he was looking for me. So ever since that happened, I carry pepper spray on my walks, because you never know when you're going to run into some weirdo. So pepper spray and alarm. So here I am, I'm walking down, past all that. Now I'm walking down this street where there's all these businesses. There's a nursing home and real estate, and it's a nice little walk. It's a really pretty area. And I'm walking and I hear this dog barking. So of course I look over, and I'm in front of the nursing home, and there's a huge diesel truck. I can hear it. It's really loud, right? The diesel trucks are super loud. And I can hear that. I look over and the dog bark is coming from there, and there's a lady kind of hunched in, so I can't even see her. I just see that she's probably trying to get herself, move her dog maybe to get into the front seat. And then, I'm with my dog doing her biz, and then I see the truck start to move to go out. And the way it is like she moves to go out, and here I am on this one. The parking lot is like this, and I'm going this way. She comes out and I'm still this way. And then, I'm not even paying attention to her until I hear someone yell out something, right? So then I look over, and her cute little, it looked like a Yorkie, I think, was hanging out the window. And I couldn't hear her because her car was so freaking loud. But I got the sense that she was saying something about my dog. I thought I heard, my dog likes your dog, or something to that nature. I'm going to turn this other light on because I feel like this light for whatever reason, keeps dimming. I couldn't really understand what she was saying, but I got the gist of it, I thought. But something was registering uncomfortable with me, and I always pay attention to that. So I kind of looked over, and I'm like, oh, okay. I go, oh, hi. And I'm like, okay. Thank you. And she was kind of staying there and then looking at me, and I had a weird feeling. Like, I don't know what that was about. Like, she was staying there a little too long, and it felt friendly, but not friendly. So I had my stuff on me. I was fine. I didn't think twice about it. And she kind of just slowly moved away, instead of someone going, oh, I like your dog, or I think my dog likes your dog, and it's like, oh, great. And you have this little interaction, and then they go, okay, see ya. And they drive away. It wasn't like that. It felt like she was lingering. And your body is taking in just like thousands of things through the face, what you're seeing. Your body is just this receptor for intuition and being able to be receptive, to what's going on in the other person. And sometimes we feel danger before we even know why we feel danger. So in this instance, I felt uncomfortable with the interaction, but I didn't know why, because she didn't seem to be doing anything that was uncomfortable to me. And yet there were a few things that would like, why is she lingering? Why can't I really hear her? She's not making it a point to really speak loud enough for me to hear her. But something registered in me not right with that. But she finally did drive off. I didn't see where she went because I was focused on my dog. She drove off, and then I, had to do the little cul-de-sac kind of turn around, and we went out on the street. Instead of staying on that street, we cut through a business, and then we went out on the street, and then cut through again and came back. And so I was kind of off my usual pattern, but still in the same area. I just did it a little bit differently, which you're also supposed to do when you do walks. Do them different all the time so people don't know exactly where you are. So I completely forgot about the circumstance. I end up walking back. I end up walking up, my driveway, and I cut through this greenery, and there's some pebbles, and I go to throw the dog bag away, right? So I cut through there, and as I'm throwing it away, I hear the sound of that truck again. And it's coming up into my driveway. And I live in an apartment, so it's not my personal, private driveway. I look up as I'm throwing away because I'm getting a visual straight of the parking lot. I'm throwing the dog poop away, and I hear this truck come up. And I think this person sees me and then pulls into a parking lot. Maybe because I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why, but maybe they didn't want me to know that they were following me, and they didn't want me to see their face. So they pulled in away from me where I was facing the back of their truck. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to get into my apartment because she already knows the general area. I'm just going to go now to get into my apartment because I don't want her to see which building and which apartment I'm at. So I just made sure that she's not going to get that opportunity to see where I'm at. And so we just went in, and then I went in, I locked the door, I shut it, and I'm feeling this uncomfortable feeling like, I can't believe there's another freaking person following me. It's so crazy. And so then I hear the truck again, and it's slowly creeping right by this door right here. Actually, I'm trying to put my finger. This window is my study, and it faces outside. And here she comes by with her truck, slowly driving by like she's trying to figure out where I'm at. She knows I'm in this area, in this particular building, but where? So that was my weird story from yesterday. And you know what, the thing that's so weird, you guys, is that this does happen to me. This is not like a one-off. This happens to me where for some reason people have this unhealthy, impulsive, compulsive need to follow me. And it happens more with women than it does with men. Women will this was stalking. That's what she was doing. She was kind of stalking me. And I've had this happen before where it's people just see me, or maybe I've had it before where it was somebody who lived in my apartment, and she was a neighbor, and I was friendly with her, and then it turned into this unhealthy thing where she would stalk me every day and go out in the apartment complex looking for me. Was I in the laundry? Was I at the pool? So that she could, come in and kind of force dialogue, instead of just being chill. So I know this pattern. My husband knows it too, and 18 years of being together, he's seen this a few times, so that was my scary story. And, hopefully this lady realizes that was very creepy of her to do, and she doesn't do it again. But my gosh, So that's my story. I got stalked yesterday, and I have no idea why. Okay. Other than they were just following my colorful self. So that is my story, you guys, and I'm thinking, do I want to tell you anything else? I did my Bliss Friday love letter today. I hope you open it and read it. If you think you didn't get it and you have asked to be on the newsletter, check your promotions and social folder, because it will often go there, and you have to open it up, right click, and select it to go into your primary email. And that way you can make sure that you see it in your regular email every time it comes out. It's without fail comes out every Friday, and it's kind of my Times Square of Sufi. Like everything that's going on with me, the series of videos is in today's newsletter, and I always write an article on something interesting that has to do with healing. And today it was the metaphysical meaning of feet, dreams, and visions. And so if you want to be part of that newsletter, if you didn't get it and you weren't on the list and you want it, just shoot me a message that you would like to be on the newsletter, and just send me your email address, and I'd gladly add that to you. I also have a private Facebook group, which you can look up, Place of Bliss Academy. So it's facebook.com/group/Place of Bliss Academy. And I can put all that in the link below so you can easily find me. And for services, if you need healing or anything like that, or just to visit my website, it's placeofblisssanctuary.com. So I'm also a Udemy instructor, and I have over 20 courses there. You just type in Sufani Garza in the search engine, and or in the Udemy search bar, and it'll bring up every course that I have. So that's it, you guys. This has been really fun, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. But please let me know, what you think of today's message, and anything that I might have said today. Hit like. Let me know if you think I should continue to do this every day, and just say hello to me. So it's been nice chatting with you guys this week, and I hope to see you back on Monday. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Oops. I'm still going. I got to hit that button. Okay, for real now. Bye.